I'm going to be answering questions about getting backlinks and doing SEO for a new agency on today's episode. This is for my friend Yuri. I like to make shows when I have people ask me questions, and I can use these shows as a way to answer these questions because oftentimes these questions are recurring questions. These are questions that a lot of people have. And I think my friend Yuri's questions are no different. He asked me 3 questions last night, and I told him I will answer them on the podcast. He said, number 1, what's the easiest way to get backlinks? Number 2, how good is Help a Reporter Out really? Help a Reporter is a platform that connects journalists with experts. If you are an expert in something, you can answer a journalist query. The journalist will cite you, and in the process of citing you, link to your website so you get that SEO domain authority, which increases your authority in the eyes of Google, and Google will rank you better because your website has more authority. And then number 3, if I really wanted to rank for, and he gave me this keyword that he wants to rank for, he asked me not to share the specific keyword on the show, and it actually is a great keyword, and I'll explain why. If I wanted to rank for this keyword, what should the content of my site be like? Those are the 3 questions I'm going to answer, and I'm going to do them rapid fire. Number 1, easiest way to get backlinks. I'm going to recommend 2 methods. The first one is just very straightforward. Featured.com. I think Featured.com is the new Help a Reporter Out, but I'll give a caveat. Featured.com has been really good for getting backlinks for me lately. I have a very high success rate of answering journalist queries. Featured.com it works the same as Haro, as Help a Reporter Out, connects journalists with experts. I have a really good success rate answering journalist queries, about 75%. 75% of my answers to journalists are used, and I get a link from that. That's crazy. So Featured.com is one of my easy ways to get backlinks. And then number 2 is creating something called a linkable asset. This is basically something useful that people with websites or journalists want to link to. This could be an app that costs $500 to build. This could be a research report. This could be a very compelling story that you write that spreads, that goes viral. And then you could launch these things. You could launch an app on Product Hunt or on BetaList. You can get links like that. I have actually done this. If the research report is interactive enough and it feels like an app, because sometimes pieces of research will be designed to actually feel like an application and they'll be dynamic. If you do that, you can also launch that on these platforms. And I've seen that work as well as a linkable asset. I've done that myself. We have a fintech website, and we created a list of how the top fintech companies got their first users, and we made it interactive. We put in all these hover effects. When you would hover over certain things, they would light up. The research was really good. The introduction was compelling, and it was something useful to the people on Product Hunt and BetaList, because these platforms are mostly for technology startups. And we explained how the top financial technology startups got their first users and customers. That was useful. And I think we made it to number 1 or number 2 for the day. And we got a lot of links for that. Really boosted our performance. And if you write a viral story, a really compelling story, this is a different option. You write a really compelling story, you can send that out to journalists. And I've done that too. I've made things go viral by sending them out to journalists. So that's number 1. You can just use Featured.com, answer 1 journalist query every day. You'll get a bunch of links. Almost forgot. Also, put your website on relevant directories. Google directories for agencies and make a profile for your agency on all the directories that you can find. You will get links from these. Many of them will be no follow, but they're still relevant. No follow just means it doesn't pass link juice, but oftentimes Google will ignore it. In a bunch of circumstances, especially ones like this, Google will ignore it. Google and other search engines like to see that you have a presence on a bunch of different platforms. So do directories. Featured.com is really easy. Just answer a journalist query each day, and creating a linkable asset will get links really fast. Number 2, how good is Help a Reporter Out really? Featured.com is a lot more effective for getting backlinks, but the quality of the backlinks that I got on Help a Reporter Out were higher. I'll give one example. I was building links for our Startup Commit Club, and I answered a question. I didn't know it was from the publication Healthline, but it was from Healthline, which has a very high domain authority, a very reputable health website. And I was one of I think only 2 experts in this article on Healthline, and Healthline linked to my startup, and that gave my startup a huge boost in performance. And Healthline is so reputable. It's a lot more reputable than most of the publications that are on Featured. And so right now, even though you will get more backlinks from Featured.com, and it will be way easier, Help a Reporter Out will still give you higher quality backlinks. Now, what is my recommendation to use? My recommendation to use is actually Featured, because if you are a new website, starting to get links will help a lot. And answering questions on Help a Reporter Out, it's kind of like playing the lottery. It's just too competitive. Featured is much more guaranteed. And the hidden thing, which probably they wouldn't want me to say, is so Featured is paid. Featured has a free tier and a paid tier. With the free tier, you can only answer 3 questions a month. With the paid tier, you can answer unlimited. The paid tier is $99 a month. I believe that the people who have the paid tier get much better results, because if people with the paid tier aren't getting link placements, they're going to stop using it. They're going to stop paying Featured.com. Honestly, it's a very bad business model that they have. But right now, I'm getting a lot of links from it, and very easily as well. So that's my recommendation. Use Featured.com instead of spending time on Help a Reporter Out. Help a Reporter Out has been on the decline for a while anyway. And then number 3, if I really want to rank for this agency keyword, what do I do? So I looked at this keyword. I use Moz's SERP analysis tool. SERP stands for Search Engine Results Page. It's an acronym. What I look for is a SERP, is a search engine results page that is not optimized for this keyword and that doesn't have a lot of authoritative sites. And the SERP for this keyword both did not have many authoritative websites showing, and it wasn't highly optimized for the keyword. And if you use a SERP analysis tool, you'll see this rating on the right side that shows out of 100 how optimized a result is for a keyword, for a search term. And so my friend asked, what content would I do? Oh man, it's so easy. So here's what he should do. His keyword actually gets a lot of search volume. So if you're in a similar position, this is what you should do. We're going to optimize the homepage. Normally, I wouldn't suggest optimizing the homepage. Normally, I would suggest making a separate page for each keyword that you want to go after. But in this case, it's a new site. This is a very meaningful keyword. And optimizing the homepage will make you rank so much faster for it. And this keyword can bring a lot of bottom of funnel traffic that will get you sales and customers fast. And then you can use this to go after more similar keywords by making dedicated pages for those other keywords. So you're going to do the following for the homepage. Take that keyword, put it in the page title, put it in the meta description, use it in the alt text of the first image on the page. You don't have to use it in the H1, but use it in the copy somewhere. And then, because this keyword is so important and it kind of this keyword actually defines this company, use it in the directories that you submit your agency to. And if you have a startup that does one thing and one thing really well, and you submit your startup to directories, which you should if you have a startup, do the same thing. I did this myself for our company Reverb.chat, and our company Reverb.chat has phenomenal rankings on Google. So that's what he should do. And if you're in a similar position, that's what you should do too. So this is my rapid fire answering Yuri's 3 SEO questions like I promised to do. And they're great questions. And I think it made for useful content. I had way too much coffee, and it is 6:33 p.m. It is a beautiful, it's been snowing all day here in Poland. So nice outside. And I'm sitting in my corner living room looking at all the snow. I have these big windows. It's so great. I'm feeling good. And I hope you're feeling good too. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.